Namo Adida Fat. Thanks so much for joining me for our daily practice check-in. Listen, listen, listen. This wonderful sound calls us back to our true home. The fourth mindfulness training. Aware of the suffering caused by unmindful speech and the inability to listen to others, I vow to cultivate loving speech and deep listening in order to bring joy and happiness to others and to relieve others of their suffering. Knowing that words can create happiness or suffering, I'm determined to speak truthfully with words that inspire self-confidence, joy, and hope. I will not spread news I do not know to be certain, and will not criticize or condemn things of which I am not sure. I will refrain from uttering words that can cause division or discord, or that can cause the family or the community to break. I am determined to make all efforts to reconcile and resolve all conflicts, however small. For our Dharma lesson, we've been reading Everything We Do Matters by the Venerable Wu Ling. We're continuing in Chapter 8, Transforming Greed and Anger. As Buddhists, we believe that we have been reborn innumerable times. In many of those lifetimes, we have cared deeply for others. In future lifetimes, this will happen again, as our attachments pull us back into those relationships, lifetime after lifetime. These attachments may be for places, for things, for ideas, or people, and this time around they may spread over an entire lifetime, perhaps our current one, or they may come rushing together in our final moments, overwhelming us. When we are dying, we can be led into many directions by our thoughts. These final thoughts are so crucial because they lead us into our next lifetime. I have on different occasions spoken with nurses, family members, and friends who were with people who were dying. One such person told me of what had happened to a friend of hers. A few years ago, another nun and I were speaking weekly to a small group of friends. The first time we met with them, we learned of a friend of theirs who was very ill. Her time was spent between hospital and home. When she was in the hospital, the friends would talk to her about practicing Buddhism and trying to be a better person, but she would explain that she did not have the energy right then and would practice when she returned home. When they visited her at home after she left the hospital and again discussed Buddhism and urged her to be a kinder, more forgiving and honest person, she would say that she was healthier now and would get around to such things later. As we continued to meet with the group, we learned that in the past, when the friends would go out shopping, the one who was now sick would invariably say that she had forgotten her money and would then ask to borrow some from the others. It was also a habit of hers to forget to repay what she had borrowed. The friends were understandably upset about this, but they also knew that their friend still needed support and encouragement to accept and benefit from Buddhist teachings. One day, when the woman was in the hospital again, one of the friends visited her. As she was lying there, she began to tell her visitor about a time when she had loaned another person some money and jewelry. As she was bitterly and angrily complaining that this person had failed to return the jewelry, the woman suddenly died. The friend who had been with her told us that the woman's face was contorted with anger when she died, and within 30 minutes her face turned a very dark gray. What we are feeling in our final moments will lead us to our next lifetime. If we are calm as we are dying, that calmness will lead us to our next lifetime. If we are very angry, then anger will lead us into the next lifetime. We may not be able to prove where this woman was reborn, but her appearance right after she died was dire indeed. She died this way because of anger and craving. She was not thinking of the kindness of the friend who had come to visit her, or of the thoughtfulness of all the other friends who regularly visited her every time she entered the hospital, all those who wanted to help her become a better person. She was not thinking of any of that. Nor was she thinking of the nurses and doctors who were trying to help her and to ease her pain. She was thinking of her missing jewelry, and she was indulging in her anger. As Buddhists, we are taught that anger will lead one to be reborn in the hell realms, and that greed will lead one to be reborn in the hungry ghost realm. The hungry ghost realm is a realm where beings have insatiable desires. They are constantly hungry and thirsty. Their stomachs are immense, but their throats are tiny, so they are unable to satisfy their hunger and thirst, unable to quench their desires. Notwithstanding whether one believes that the hell and hungry ghost realms are in other dimensions or whether they exist now in this world, we are led to them because of our anger and craving. May all beings be well. May all beings be happy. May all beings be at ease. Namo Adidafat. Thanks so much for joining me today.